Hi, we're here at UK Games Expo 2015. I'm sitting here with Bob Carty of Mayfair Games.
Why, thank you, Andrew.
Hi, how are you enjoying UK Games Expo?
I like this show a lot.
Yeah?
It's fairly condensed, which is sometimes rough getting down the hallway when you go, I can see over everyone's head. I'm pretty sure this is a 2-hour walk.
Yeah.
There's a lot of gamers here. Everybody seems to be having a pretty good time.
Yeah.
They added some food trucks to the courtyard this year, so actually people will be able to eat without killing each other.
Nice.
Pretty sure they were going to sacrifice one last year out there in the parking lot and barbecue them. But they didn't, which is good.
Always a bonus.
And it's a well-run show.
Yep.
I do a fair number of shows, and I think this is one of the better-run shows I attend.
Oh, brilliant.
I like England. I like coming here.
Yeah, that's cool.
And it's not as busy a show for me
Okay.
as some of the other shows. Gen Con, I'll do 50-some-odd interviews
Yeah.
and meetings through the course of 4 days. And some of it starts at 5 a.m. So by the time Sunday gets there, I'm a vegetable.
Yeah.
What are you?
I can imagine.
I think I am a cucumber, or perhaps an iceberg lettuce with no calories at all left. And are you sure? I don't know. Peel. So this one's a little more laid back for us. So
Yep.
we do the Isdevium has a trade day for retailers, and we go in and do a little talk to them and
Oh, brilliant.
talk about plans for the future, which we'll talk about some of that here if you want to.
Yeah, definitely.
And
That's that.
we have a stand in there with some friends that run it from England, and demo some new games. We're going to be demoing the Star Trek prototype here for a new game, and
Oh, brilliant.
Extra is premiering here kind of half-assed
Yep.
because it got lost in transmission. But the show is a little bit. I don't have quite as many meetings, so for me, I like the show better.
Okay, so it's a bit more relaxing.
A little bit more relaxing.
You can enjoy it.
The folks are all real friendly. Almost all of them.
Awesome.
But
That's cool. So let's talk about you. How long have you been at Mayfair Games, and how did you join?
well,
How was-
originally I came over with Pizarro and Cortez, and we stopped off in St. Augustine to see the Fountain of Youth, and we were all sitting around playing Dungeons and Dragons, and then I said, well, I think I'm going to go north, and they said, oh, we're going south, and I'm going to Mexico. So no, sorry, that's not true.
Be a good story though.
Could be, especially when somebody says, wow, come on, what are your history knowledge? My connection with Mayfair started in 1985.
Okay.
Okay, I originally was in the distribution end of the business, building distribution nets. I ended up working for a comic distributor
Yep.
in Illinois called Glenwood. They had 7 warehouses. They were one of the largest comic distributors in the world at the time. And I worked there as a flunky in the warehouse for less than 2 weeks, and I became assistant warehouse manager. Then I was tasked with fixing the game division, or killing it, one of the two.
Okay. How did that work out?
We fixed it.
Yeah.
We got over 400 stores to carry board games and card games, board game role-playing games mostly, there in 1985 to 86,
Okay.
which is a pretty phenomenal feat at the time.
Yeah.
The industry was not the same. The industry evolves like everything else. So I worked there until January 6th of 87. And then in March of 87, I worked for Diamond.
Okay.
I worked at Diamond and got games into Diamond. And some games were already there, but I really actually had a TSR, FASA, Palladium,
Yep.
Iron Crown,
Okay.
right? Legends.
Yep. Definitely.
Yep, and then I left there on July the 10th, 1988, and went to Liberty, which was a hobby distributor. And I left there in 97 and went to work for Mayfair.
Okay. Cool. And you've been there ever since.
Been there ever since.
Okay.
I'm a shareholder. We have 7 shareholders. There's 3 managing partners.
Yep.
So that we actually we're supposed to talk about everything before we do it.
Yep.
It works most of the time.
Brilliant.
We have different backgrounds, different experiences. So usually this works pretty well.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh, that's cool. So we're sitting here next to Extra, a brand new board game. Can you talk to us a little bit about it?
Well, Andrew, it's a game.
Yep. Perfect.
It has
A board game?
It has parts in it.
Yep.
Yes. It is a board game with a 3-panel board, which makes it fairly long and narrow.
Okay.
And things grow off of the board a little bit.
Yep.
Each of the players has their own board
Yep.
where they build their newspaper.
Okay.
Now the articles are different sizes, and you put those together using cards of the same subject matter, and different articles require different things. The tiles may require a number of photographs and a number of copy.
Yep.
So a 4-piece article is worth 10 victory points, but the ones that are available may be 2 copy, 2 photos, or it might be 3 copy, 1 photo, or vice versa.
Yeah.
And so you play the cards, you send your worker to go buy the article, you play the cards, and place the article in your board. So you're kind of playing Tetris with your board at the same time.
Okay.
Worker placement aspect is you have 2 reporters. You got to pay them every turn. You got a cash flow issue going on.
Yep.
You can pop other people off the board, so they have to replace their guy
Okay.
by putting money with your guy and putting him on the board.
Yeah.
They can pop him back off by putting more money on the board.
Perfect.
So sometimes you get into these duels and watch people spend their money and go, huh, silly bastards.
Yeah.
And you get the money back, so it's really well balanced. You can always chase things,
Yep.
or you can find a different path to get there,
That's cool.
which to me makes it one of the better balanced board games.
Yeah, because you were saying before that sometimes, even though if you do get blocked from one thing, there are
absolutely
alternative options.
I have had the experience of having been blocked the entire game until the last 2 turns when I had too much cash and they couldn't stop me. I was J.P. Getty. No, he's oil. Norman D. Rockefeller. No, he was oil too. Anyway, Mr. Gates. There we go.
Mr. Gates, that works.
He just buys Central American countries. No, African countries. No, wait a minute. So the game is very, very, very solid.
Okay. And it's ready to be released soon?
We expect them to be, the bulk of the shipment will hit England in about 2 weeks.
Brilliant.
2.5 weeks.
And then you can see them in game stores
Yes.
then?
We're expecting it to be premiered here, but apparently the god of die cutting said, "Oh, you wanted what? Sorry. Didn't cut that piece."
Not just yet. So, what would you say makes a Mayfair game? Like, do all your games?
Well, we have a printer, a die cutter, an artist, an author, writer, some editors, some developers, some reviewers.
Do they share a trait, or is there something different about your games compared to
Well,
others?
Mayfair's evolved over the years. If you know anything of our history, you know that Mayfair Games actually started off as a partnership between brothers. In 1981, they incorporated, but some of the titles before they incorporated and after, they were producing really, they were crappy war games.
Okay.
I mean, there are good war games and there are crappy war games.
Yep.
And these are in the crappy category. I own all of them.
Do you still play them?
No, I never played them then. I bought them, I looked at them, and I said, this TO&E has nothing to do with what actually happened historically in the battle.
Okay.
Fact of life.
Yep.
So I did not, but they were idiots actually at the time. But in 1981, they produced Empire Builder, which was the second game to use crayons on the board. First one being Source of the Nile, which was an Avalon Hill title. Unfortunately, Source of the Nile, after you played the game 2 or 3 times, you couldn't get the crayon back off the board because wax is slightly abrasive, and it took the finish off, and then you were actually writing on the paper, and it's like, look at that, there was a path there earlier. So at Empire Builder, they actually ended up with a better lacquer.
Okay.
Went on the board paper.
Yep.
And so the crayons came off, and so it's building transcontinental railroads, right, and delivering goods.
Yeah.
It's jokingly sometimes called a 6-player solitaire game.
Okay.
You don't interact with the other players very much. You
doesn't
build your own
sound-
railroad.
That's something we don't always enjoy.
No, but there's a lot of folks that do.
Yeah.
Okay, there's a lot of folks that don't play well with others.
Yeah.
There's a market for a lot of games. There's some of these games now. We have like this game coming up called Booty.
Yeah.
It is not about that. Stop that smirking.
Treasure chests.
It is about pirates.
Yep.
All the pirates on the cover be female.
Okay.
Just because we thought it would be funny.
Yep.
But you're divvying up the spoils. One person's a quartermaster. They take and draw a certain number of cards. It's really the number of players. And then they divvy them into stacks and they offer them to people. You score either rum or Bibles. So if I think you're chasing Bibles, I may offer you rum that you don't want, So you'll reject it so I can take whatever else out of that pile that I really wanted, at the end.
Okay.
So it's one of those people manipulation games.
Yep.
That's not really my style game. So,
Yep.
but there's a group of people that think that is the thing to do.
Yeah.
People that like games like Intrigue,
Yep.
right? Yes, I'm going to lie, cheat, and steal to get my people employed in your house. Really? Huh.
Richard particularly likes those sort of games.
Do you?
I'm very guilty of that.
Okay. But those are, everybody's got their own style, is what I'm saying. And there are some games that you go, huh.
Yeah,
I didn't enjoy that.
I'm a terrible person. That's the problem.
It's a terrible person.
I deal with manipulative people every day. So maybe it's just the fact that I just don't want to deal with it.
Yeah.
You get people calling to sell us advertising or phone service, and they act like they know me, so they put them through. It's
Yep.
like,
That's how they
excuse
get
my
you.
French, who the fuck are you? And when you say that to the person, they get offended. I don't understand it. I'm your friend. No, you're not. I know who my friends are, and there's only 2 of them alive.
So let's get back to Mayfair Games.
So what makes a Mayfair game,
Yeah.
besides components?
Besides the printers.
Now, also, Mayfair has a history as role-playing games,
Yeah.
right? Roll-Aids was a Mayfair product, and the Roll-Aids changed the quality of role-playing products that were being produced.
Yeah.
Okay, they were better quality paper. They had covers by Boris Vallejo and people like that. Some of them were based on literary works like Drew Prescott novels, and the adventures were better written. They did the Lich Lord's source book. They did Dragons, which sold supposedly like 60,000 copies of the book straight in a couple of years, which is more than TSR was selling on role-playing products at the time.
Okay.
Because the graphics and the whole structure was better. They did the DC Heroes role-playing game,
Oh yeah. I remember
Right.
seeing that.
right? Chill, Underground, the second Chill. The first Chill was Pace Setter.
Okay.
And so Mayfair had a history not only in board games, but in role-playing games, and those are 2 separate machines.
Yeah.
They didn't separate them well enough, which created problems in the company, and other companies too, because nobody understood those things. It's funny part is that a lot of the distributors understood them. There's different machines, they do things, because the distribution is a machine.
Yeah.
People machine, but it's a machine. Role-playing games require more writing and better editing and things like that.
Yeah.
Board games is a lot of textural design work, the components. You have to get things that feel right and look, or to have the textures for the subject matter.
Yeah.
Right, and the same thing with cards. Right, and these are all more textural things than in role-playing games where you're dealing with the subject matter from a more storytelling aspect. Right?
Yeah.
Even though we're always telling stories.
Yeah.
Always telling stories. So, and Mayfair also was doing literary titles at the time. They did Company War, which is based on C.J. Cherryh novels. They did The Forever War, based on Haldoran's books. Hammers Slammers, based on David Drake's books.
Okay.
Pictionary, the original Pictionary. They did the Ellery Queen mystery game, which sold very well in the book trade, and introduced a lot of people to the concept of hobby gaming.
Okay.
Okay, so back to the question of what makes our game. I mean, Mayfair's got a bizarre, twisted, broken history, and but these days, at this point, we've evolved to the point that we actually have a fairly efficient development and studio. The studio winnows down designs, internal and external, to a small field, and then we work on the schedules. We're limiting the number of games we do to maybe 4 or 10 a year,
Okay.
depending on opportunities.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be 4 a year, but 4 and a couple of expansions, like the new Steam expansion this fall. But this year we had an opportunity to do a Star Trek game, a new
Okay.
Star Trek license, so we're
Yeah.
doing it.
Yeah.
We have a license from PBS. PBS is Public Broadcasting System.
Yeah.
In the U.S., that's our public television. A lot of British programming goes over there through PBS.
Okay.
So we have a Masterpiece Theater license for a game called Mystery.
Okay.
It's that final scene in every film noir
Yeah.
where you're in the parlor and all the players are detectives, and they have 3 suspects each that they can place on the board, and you connect the suspects by love and hate arrows.
Okay.
So you're telling the
interesting.
story of, oh my God, he's dead. You must have done it. No, he was blackmailing you. Oh, you were secretly in love with him and killed that man for that evil act.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, brilliant. That sounds cool.
So it's really kind of cool.
Yeah.
So, and it's all Edward Gorey art.
Okay.
If you know who Edward Gorey is, kind of these really creepy stick figure guys that they used in the Masterpiece Theater. Just what it is.
Okay.
So with the opportunities, we have 6 games. We pick games because we're all old, jaded bastards.
I can't imagine that's
No,
true.
we're not all old.
Definitely jaded, though, yeah?
I don't think everybody's jaded, but I am actually, I got to say it. I mean, I used to say, oh no, but I think I probably am at this point. 30 years of this. I'm pretty close to being, yeah, that game sucks. Just say it like it is. I kind of said that when I first started the industry too. Pretty critical.
So
But,
nothing's changed.
Not like, well, it's just gone full circle.
Yeah.
But the criterias are, it's really got to make pretty much everybody say, wow.
Yeah.
Okay? And then you look at it from, the second question is, would you take it off the shelf and play it again?
Okay, yeah.
Would you pull it off the shelf to play it?
Yeah.
If it's, well, I'd play it again, if it was the only thing to play.
Yeah.
Then it's not going to make it.
That's not good enough.
Right. This one is probably one of the best balanced worker placement games I've ever seen.
Okay.
Okay? And I haven't seen them all. I haven't
Yeah.
had time to play them all. But I've played a lot of them where you always felt like you weren't going to make it back. And then
Yeah.
the game that I was excluded from, I'm pretty sure that I was going to lose that game.
Yeah.
Because they were pretty sure I wasn't going to play. But the dynamics are such that I was able to collect enough stuff.
Yeah. So
that
allow you to get back into
they
it.
could not, when I came back, it was with a hammer. And I crushed them like bugs. Well, if it ain't funny, it ain't good.
Word to live by.
Well, that's one of our goals at Mayfair is actually put fun back in gaming. Because I've been doing this for 390 months.
Okay, well, what are you going to go for years? And
Oh, lunar months, I'm sorry. 360 actual months. Calendar months. Well, there's 13 months in a year. There are 13 lunar months in a year.
Is there?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
That's why the Chinese New Year is always the time.
There are 28 days.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. Then they've got days over.
Right, a fortnight, dude.
Yeah.
Andy, I know we're supposed to be learning stuff from it, but it's supposed to be basic.
Should we just crack on so I don't embarrass myself any further?
So we have this thing where about that we had this. It was a weird discussion that ended up being this adamant. No, this is our job. We're supposed to be putting fun back in this. I'm sick and tired of sourpusses walking around because they're not happy.
Yeah.
And working in the business, it's like any other job. You have really crappy days that you really want to know if that bridge, if you can jump far enough to get past the net on the bridge.
Yeah.
Or will that bus stop short and not run me over all the way? Because that would suck. And then you have the glorious days where you're teaching new games to people and the light bulb is coming on and you can see the wonder in their face and you're like, okay, this is why I'm fucking here.
Yeah.
So we started doing a thing like a Gen Con, and I don't know if the Mammoth game is here. There should be a Mammoth Star Trek here someplace. We shipped it over. I don't know where it is.
I don't think I've seen it yet.
So a Mammoth game is like, Settlers of America, right? Is a fairly nice board.
Yeah.
So we have one that's 12 by 18 feet. Or
Yeah.
4 meters by, 6 meters.
Yep.
Right.
I understand that.
That's the board.
Yeah.
Right.
Is there a dice? Does the dice size up as well?
Oh yeah, we put big dice in it.
Yeah.
And the wood, it's got, like the wooden trains are this big.
Yeah.
Right, and the trains actually fit in the tracks in this one.
That's pretty cool.
The wood weighs about 70 kilos,
That's
157 pounds.
that's
That's about
hefty.
70 kilos, right? Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So we have 11 of those kind of games.
11 giant games.
Mammoth.
Mammoth games.
No, we have 16 giants. Giants are double size or triple scale.
Okay.
Mammoth games are so big you can't put them on a table. You have to play them on the floor. They're carpets and stuff.
Interesting.
And people love it.
Yeah, well,
It's just really cool, man.
Yeah.
As soon as it's scaled up, you see it in the room and everybody wants to go over and try.
Hell yeah.
So you've got this game coming out this year in a couple of weeks. What other sort of Mayfair releases can we expect? Any
Well-
exclusives you want to share with us right now? I have to ask. Do you want to speak just a bit louder, just a bit more clearer?
I mean, there's not a lot of exclusive. I mean, for you, like tidbits of information to make your heart go pitter-patter.
I mean, if you've got them.
Well, you know, we own this little company called Lookout.
I didn't.
Yeah.
Look out.
We own Lookout Games
Okay.
out of Deutschland.
Okay. Cool.
They're the guys that brought you Agricolari,
Oh, yeah.
Agricolas,
Yeah.
if you remember they written in Latin, which means farmer. We bought them a little over, well, a year and a half, almost 2 years
Okay.
ago. And they have 2 new titles coming up here.
Yep.
One is called Trombone. Now, they've done a series of 2-player games. This will be the 3rd one.
Okay.
The first one was Gold Ahoy, which is kind of a whole yin-yang concept to it going.
Okay.
The person with the most entrances to a particular path controls all the victory points out of that path,
Yep.
and you're laying tiles,
Okay.
blocking, opening. Not that it's a screw your enemy game. Yes, it is. And then they have the Trombone is trolley cars, building trolley car companies in Berlin, turn of the century.
Yeah.
So the graphics are very, very kind of cool.
That's cool.
It's got a pretty simple direct mechanism, but it plays well.
Yeah.
You know, it's an enjoyable game.
Okay.
I'd pick it up off the shelf again to play.
Oh, yeah.
And then Patchwork, which is up for Spiel des Jahres.
Yep. Okay.
And we have also a game coming from them probably in August, which we titled Isle of Skye.
Isle of Skye.
Yeah.
Okay. What's that about?
Well, Isle of Skye historically is this little island off the coast of Scotland, and there were 5 chieftains who thought they owned it.
Okay. Yeah.
And they did crazy things to try to control it.
Yeah.
And apparently it wasn't always part of Scotland, even though they all were fighting each other for 1,000 years or so.
Yeah.
And they did crazy shit, like trading villages for a boat.
Just for a boat.
For a boat.
Wow.
But he kept the villagers. The guy was telling me this story that he read about. I'm like, oh, that's just crazy. But there's 5 chieftains
Yep.
involved. Okay, and this is a 2 to 5 player game, a 3 to 5 player game.
Yep.
And it's a tile laying game, but only in your own kingdom. So you
Okay.
start off with a capital, you have a screen, you have some money, and you draw 2 tiles out of the bag.
Yep.
You're going to put money on them. That's the amount of money you'll accept for that tile, and you lift your screen, and you get to buy a tile from one of the other players.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
So you could play between 1, if both your tiles sell,
Yep.
or 3 tiles.
Yep.
Sorry. And so cities on the road to your capital give you cash flow every turn.
Yep.
There's 4 different victory condition spots, and you draw the victory conditions randomly.
Okay. That's interesting.
And I don't remember how many tiles there are for the victory conditions.
Yeah.
And then they score 3 times during the game, and I think the game is 6 or 8 turns.
Okay.
And so, like on turn 1, it's victory condition 1, turn 2, victory condition 2, turn 3 is 1 and 3.
Okay, that's interesting.
So you can kind of ambush victory conditions or
Yeah.
plan for them or ignore them.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't have anything for victory condition 1. I'm just going to plan on 3 and 4 because there's no way I'm going to get goats or whatever
Yeah.
the hell it is, right? And you're scoring animals or boats or the size of lakes or, you know.
Brilliant. That's cool.
I like it a lot. I like the aspect of the cash flow that, okay, so if I sell you a property, I get the cash back off the property and your cash. If I have to keep the property because nobody buys it, that cash goes to the bank,
Yep.
okay, but now I'm playing 3 tiles.
Yep.
Well, I can do that.
That's
Those-
good.
you know?
That's cool.
So, yeah.
Cool. So along with that, anything else?
Well, there's a couple of other theoretical lookout games, but I don't have
Information.
I
Just
don't have
yet.
titles.
Okay.
I have working titles, I'm not giving you those.
Yeah. That's fair enough.
Mayfair's got Booty,
Lucy.
the pirate game.
The
coming
pirate
out,
game.
right? We have a game called 5-Year Mission coming.
Okay.
Star Trek,
Yep.
2 to 7 player cooperative,
Okay.
classic and next generation
Okay.
characters.
Now we're talking.
All the characters have different abilities.
Yep.
So Picard's got different abilities than Kirk,
Yep.
which is great. You could mix and match them, although you're probably going to play with either the original Enterprise or the Enterprise D.
Yep.
And then then there's away missions, and so you're flipping away missions to see. You start off your turn, you flip an away mission.
Yep.
You pick a color. Unless the Enterprise is damaged, then your colors get more restricted to the harder and harder missions.
Okay, that's interesting.
If you as a team fail 5 missions, it's over.
Oh well.
If the Enterprise blows up, it's over.
Oh, that seems reasonable.
So we were doing demos night before last,
Yep.
and the retailers that were playing were like, "Well, this is really simple." It was like 4th turn.
Yeah.
You could tell they were not real. And then everything went wrong.
Oh really?
Yeah, and the game ended with the Enterprise damaged,
Yep.
and they had 4 failed missions,
Wow.
and they completed the basic 10-point game. They're like, wow.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah.
And is that for release this year?
That'll release in August.
August.
Yeah.
So we can expect it then.
Yes, sir.
Brilliant.
And so will Mystery. Mystery will release in August also.
Okay.
And then we have one more release for sure, and that is a game called King Chocolate.
King Chocolate.
The Sweet Path to Profit. Just says that can't be enough for you. And the box is actually be like a brocaded chocolate box.
Okay.
Design, right? It'd be
Yeah.
kind of cool and weird.
That's cool. What does that entail?
This is a tile laying game with a limited action.
Okay.
And at the moment, I'm not remembering exactly how many actions you get a turn, but I think it's like 3.
Okay.
And every turn, you start off and you have to lay a tile on the board. You draw a tile in the back. And the board is actually made out of hexes,
Oh yeah. Okay.
bow ties, double hexes, right? And there are 6 steps to the making of chocolate.
Okay.
You have the growing stage, then you have the drying stage, then you have the squishing stage where you crush it, right? Then you turn it into liquor.
Liquor.
That's what they call it, coffee liqueur.
Okay.
There's no alcohol in it.
Yeah. Well, this game's changed
God
suddenly.
damn it. Always hoping to get smashed on that there dark chocolate. It's a terrible thing. A dark chocolate addiction. Anyway, so you draw a tile out and you're going to play it. Now the tiles will have 1 or 2 of those steps on them. They may, both
Okay.
most of the hexes could be the same step.
Yeah.
And they'll have 1 or 2 little huts on them,
Yep.
which represent the number of beings that can travel through those spots or they'll hold.
Yeah.
So you're trying to build a field that's all the same hexes,
Okay.
right? So let's say I've got 5 hexes and I can produce 7 beans in a growing, and I put a house in there.
Yeah.
I have 4 houses. There's 6 steps. I can't ever vertically integrate the damn board,
Yeah.
but I can integrate part of it. And so it's about efficiency of movement and getting the money.
Yeah.
So I grow 7. That's an action. I move 7 to your wonderful land over there, which has 10 spots. And look, I just took 7 of them up.
Yeah.
And you say, "You rat bastard." And I get paid by the bank. And then when you move them off, you get paid by the bank. If you decide to bring some from somebody else's territory, or somehow or other bring them in, you can only put another 3 in there
Yeah.
to fill it up maximum. And so it's all about the efficiency of your machine.
Yeah.
If you build them too big,
Yeah.
you have nowhere to go.
Yeah.
If they're too small, you're just piddling.
Yeah.
So it's all about balance. And it's
Okay.
actually really, and it plays fast.
And when's that released, sorry?
Essen.
Essen. Okay. Brilliant. Well, thank you so much for chatting to us
You're
today.
welcome,
Check out Mayfair Games.
Come down and play
Come down and play Extra Extra
with the designer.
with the designer. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.